Hey everybody, it's Vervain. I am at the Opal Lake trailhead in just outside of Pagosa Springs, Colorado, and I have with me Notes from the Universe on Abundance, and a bunch of the cards from this deck actually resemble places on the trail or by the lake, and so I've picked some of those out of here, and I thought that this would be a fun way to do like a little mini deck review slash travel vlog slash new moon readings. It's also the first day of the new moon cycle today, and I'm really missing doing morning ritual with you guys while I'm out here, and so hopefully I can get this to you still kind of towards the beginning of the new moon cycle. I think this will be a lot of fun. So we're in this beautiful sun-soaked like glen, I feel like that's the right word, which I feel like there's no aspens in this whole deck, but there is this beautiful card that just, it looks like where we're sitting, basically. The sun coming through the trees. You can't even see, there, now you can see the sky, but you can't see me in the sky at the same time. So, a little Kudo and Finn are with us. And this card says, if more people knew how admired they already are, they'd be even more admirable. Same for knowing how cool, fun, healthy, wealthy, and wise they already are. And zippy. In admiration, the universe. And I feel like that's so true, because so much of what we do that makes us admirable comes from having the confidence that we can do it. And so much of having the confidence that we can do it comes from knowing that we already have value and that people already see and appreciate that. But people do. And maybe they don't always tell you.
I admire you.
Thank you. I admire you. And I admire you.
I admire
and
you.
I admire you. Do you see this? Does this look like where we are?
Ooh.
You want to hold it? This is the first time I've ever let a baby hold one of my cards. I'm a little bit scared. You can smell it.
Oh.
Okay, perfect.
Back to the earth.
So I made Sean stop to film because this field of flowers reminds me of this card with the daisies and the butterfly. And this isn't daisies, I think this is... Oh, this is yarrow.
Yeah.
This is yarrow. We're in a field of yarrow. Anyhow, so I'm going to read this card that's covered in daisies and a butterfly. One of abundance's many corollaries is that the brighter your light shines, the more you attract everything, moths and butterflies, at which point you begin learning what to celebrate and what to fly on by, or whom. Flame on, the universe. And I think that's just such a powerful reminder that, like, you know, success comes with risks and sacrifices. And I was talking with Sean yesterday about adversity and, like, you know, if you're gonna try and change the world, you're gonna make enemies, and you can't let the fear of making enemies stop you from doing what you know is your job in the world. And it's the same thing with, like, shining your light. Like, yeah, if you end up shining super brightly, to continue with this metaphor, like, people who are good for you and people who will drain you will, like, people who can feed your light mutually and people who just want to feed off of your light, both of those kinds of people will be attracted to you, and all sorts of opportunities will come your way. And then you get to start being more selective, and you get to let every no hold the space for the perfect yes. So I realize that the landscape in this card is a little more lush than where I'm currently seated, but we are right beside a river. And we are in this beautiful lush greenery, and I think it's close enough. And what this card says is, it's not a matter of whether or not you can afford it, swing it, or handle it. It's a question of whether or not I can. And I can. Love, the universe. I love these.
That's cool.
I love these. It's like, oh, right, I don't have to take care of every little detail. I just have to know what I want and work towards it consistently every day, and the little details will be filled in as I do that and as I keep my eyes open. Like, I don't have to have every step of the plan planned out right now. I don't have to have the whole budget lined up right now for all my dreams. I just have to start working towards them. And so do you. And so do all of us. And, like, there was another... Well, we'll get to that later. There's another card in this deck that I think is one of the ones that I pulled out and we're going to talk about today. But we'll get there. Okay, so I think this is about as close as we're going to get to this card, but I think it is actually pretty close. There's definitely a river coming down the mountain and a bunch of trees in the background with the green light filtering through. So let's read this one. Oh yeah, this is exactly the one that I was just talking about. $1 million is a lot only when you don't have it. With 10 million, 1 million can practically be overlooked and is therefore much less intimidating. Pretend you have 10 million. To the bank, the universe. And this is one of those that I was talking about, how a lot of the deck, I don't actually know if I said this on camera, but a lot of this deck, as long as this is kind of a mini review, we'll talk about this. A lot of this deck is very financially centered in its wording and its language choices. And I think like that's fine. Actually, I think that's good for me, because learning how to be comfortable with money is something that I'm still struggling with, and it's not something that like I didn't grow up already super comfortable with the idea of money. In fact, I grew up being told that I like wasn't supposed to talk about money, and I think that's like usually a good guide for social situations. You shouldn't really talk about money socially, but because of that, I like never had any understanding of like how much $20 is worth, or how much $100 is worth, or what it takes to earn $100, or what it takes to earn $20. Anyhow, but it's, on the one hand, it is helpful to think of these messages in terms of money for those of us who have really damaged ideas or like thought processes around money. I don't think that's quite the word I'm looking for, but deal with it. But also, I think this card is made for a lot of law of attraction type folks, and I noticed there is a lot of financial language in the law of attraction stuff, and I just don't think that it's necessary, and I don't think that it's necessarily good to have money being at the center of your goals, even though money may be a part of them, because money is necessary to accomplish most goals in this world, in this day and age. That is the world that we live in. But you know, we choose what we value, and we choose how much value we place on things, and we choose whether we express that value financially or in other ways. And I think that all of these cards that do use money-centered language can also be interpreted other ways. For example, this one, so like creating a YouTube video sounded really hard to me before I ever did it. Like, it sounded like it was going to be a big deal, and I was scared of it, and I knew that whatever I did the first time wasn't going to be good enough, and I don't know, I had all these things stopping me from doing it. And then I did it once, and then a couple months later I was fairly consistently putting out 3 videos a week, and I'm not doing that anymore because that is hard, guys. That is hard, and I actually want to do other things with my life besides just YouTube. I know it's difficult to believe. And I do love you guys, and that doesn't change anything. But, now having over 100 YouTube videos under my belt, creating a YouTube video doesn't sound so hard, and I'm working on filming 2 today, and you're watching one right now. And it's just the fact that I took those first steps, even knowing, or even like feeling like I couldn't, or like knowing it was going to be scary, or having all these ideas about what it would and wouldn't be like, and it felt like a big hurdle. It doesn't feel like such a big hurdle anymore, and I think that's what this card's trying to say. Is like, you start doing something, and then it looks a lot, the mountain looks a lot bigger from the bottom than it does from the top, most of the time. Okay, so here we are at Opal Lake, and I just think this is one of the most beautiful places on earth, certainly one of the most beautiful places that I have ever been, and I think it actually happens to look a lot like this card, even more if you can see some of the pink flowers, which I'll show you. And it says, "Here's what I ask folks who aspire to being fabulously rich. Couldn't you just pretend you're a multi-millionaire? Right after you're done pretending you're not? It's all pretend, the universe." And again, this is one of those that is like super financially centered in its language, but I don't think you have to interpret it that way. Like, for example, being a multi-millionaire might be a side effect of my goals for my life, but I'm not necessarily sure that it's one of my goals. Although I need a certain amount of money to accomplish certain others of my goals, but I don't think of it in terms of dollars. And maybe I should. I don't know, because the world seems to work in terms of dollars. But I also think the world seems to work in terms of beauty and the moments that you enjoy. And look where we are. Like, even if I were a multi-millionaire, I can't imagine choosing to be anywhere else right now. I can't imagine choosing to be anywhere else besides in the beauty of Opal Lake. And that makes me feel rich. So this is our last spot at Opal Lake and the last card on this journey. I really hope that you've enjoyed this video. Do give it a thumbs up if you're enjoying it so far, and let me know down in the comments if you'd like to see more like mobile deck reviews, or I don't know, let me know what of my decks you'd like me to review first. You can always check out my Oracle and Tarot deck collection videos, which I'll link below if you want to know more about that. And I'm just going to get to reading this card. I think this is one of the most beautiful spots. Just the lake and the trees and the mountains and the sky and the yarrow and these purple asters. I don't know what exactly they are, but they're just beautiful. And whatever this fuzzy thing is. Oh my god! There's a thimbleberry. I'm gonna eat it. No, it's a salmonberry. Delicious. Okay, and it says, question. What do rich folk daydream and visualize about? Answer. Yeah, whatever they want. Question. And what do poor folk daydream and visualize about? Answer. Yeah, whatever they want. You're coming along so quickly. The universe.